What a game, what a game, what a game. It was the Giants versus Seahawks, and this is the instant analysis from October 30th, 2022. Now, before we get started, I'm going to break down the whole game for you guys. Do me a favor. This is a brand new channel. Actually, this is the first video on the channel, so if you can, please subscribe to this channel, as we are going to have all sorts of cool videos, breaking down football games, basketball games, having stories, maybe even a podcast in the future. So if you can, please also like this video, and we are going to go ahead and break down this game right here. The final score in this one was 27-13. The Seahawks really just pulled away in the fourth quarter. That was basically the deciding factor. It was a good game, but when it comes down to it, the Giants cannot afford to have any kind of turnovers. They need to play a perfect game in order to win. They win the same way every week. The Seahawks are a good team. They're definitely better than everybody thought they were going to be, and they can win in a couple different ways. Their key running back, Kenneth Walker, besides a touchdown, which we'll get into, he actually was contained for the most part, and the Seahawks found different ways to win this game, and that was the moral of the story. All right, so starting things off in the first quarter, this one was a snoozer. It was basically back and forth. These guys were just punting the ball. 3 and outs. I think the Seahawks might have had one first down. They had, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett weren't even supposed to play. They were both questionable. I think DK Metcalf actually got carted off the field last week. They both wound up playing, and they both were contributing, some good and some bad, which I'll get into in a minute. But the Seahawks, they pretty much had the ball the whole entire first half for the most part, or at least it felt like it. The Giants really didn't even get a first down until the first drive of the second quarter. They didn't even try and establish the run at all in the first quarter. I think Daniel Jones threw the ball 5 or 6 straight times, to start the game. It was 3 and outs for the Giants. Now, the Giants' defense was completely gassed because of this. You can actually see it, and that's when the Seahawks were able to take advantage and score a touchdown on a 6-yard touchdown by DK Metcalf. That was at 12:07 left in the second quarter. It was pretty much all Seahawks again until Adoree Jackson. He made a ridiculous forced fumble and recovery on the Seahawks 2. And then at that point, with 5:51 left, Saquon Barkley was able to punch it in for a touchdown to tie the game up. For the Giants, it was really good to see Nick Gates on that play. Made a really good key block that sprung Saquon to the end zone. So it was really good to see him back. He almost freaking lost his leg last year in a gruesome leg injury. Giants got some momentum, and then they, on the next drive they sacked Geno Smith twice, and then all of a sudden a punt came and Richie James fumbled the punt, of course, and the Seahawks got the ball deep into Giants territory. Good thing though, they were not able to do anything with it. It was almost a Tyler Lockett touchdown, but he was out of bounds. So they weren't able to do anything with it. They kicked the Jason Myers 35-yard field goal, which was actually blocked, but still went in by Dexter Lawrence, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Wink Martindale really mixed things up. He had a lot of blitzes going. The OC for the Seahawks, Shane Waldron, I think his name is. He called a really good first half. But for the most part, it was kind of a boring first half. And it was pretty much all Seahawks with the ball, but they weren't really able to capitalize and do anything good with it. Starting off in the second half, coming out of the gate, the Giants were trying to establish a run, and Saquon was getting some success here and there, but they were definitely trying to push it to him more. And the Seahawks, they were daring the Giants to throw the ball, and the Giants really, they did a few times. Darius Slayton had a couple good completions, but for the most part, they were trying to run the ball with Saquon, and it was working. They were able to drive the first drive of the second half. They were able to drive it down and get a field goal. Tyler Lockett, then on the ensuing drive by Seattle, he dropped a touchdown, which was a perfect throw from Geno Smith. And so Seattle then had to, settle for a field goal as well, and it became a 13-10 ball game. Now to start the fourth, the Giants were able to drive down and get another Graham Gano field goal. But on the very next drive, the Seahawks were basically just able to walk it 75 yards and get a touchdown, a long touchdown pass from Geno Smith to Tyler Lockett, and he was able to get some redemption for the earlier drop and also the fumble. And at that point, it made it 20 to 13. And then after some back and forth, both teams, drove a little, and Seahawks punted, and then Richie James struck again. He fumbled another run back punt, and the Giants really have to do something about this guy. He's turning into a problem here. And then on the very next play, Kenneth Walker was able to capitalize and put it in for a long rushing touchdown, and that was pretty much game, set, match there. So the Giants fall to 6-2 with the loss, while the Seahawks improve to 5-3. Next up for the Giants, they have back-to-back games, they have the bye first, and then they have back-to-back home games versus the Lions, the Texans and the Lions at Giant Stadium, or MetLife Stadium. It'll always be Giant Stadium to me. But then the Seahawks, they go on the road to Arizona for a big division game. The Giants have to figure something out at wide receiver is what it comes down to. They just do not have anybody there that really scares anybody. You have Darius Slayton. He made a couple nice plays there today. And the guy Chase Hudson, he actually did very well from the tight end position, filling in for Bellinger. But overall, the Giants need more of a threat on the outside. They just do not have the offense that scares anybody. And that's the story for them. Seahawks, listen, props to them. They really played a good game. And that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys can please like this video and subscribe, I will have more interesting videos in the future, and I look to hear from you guys. Please leave a comment as well.